Every educator should know the three key differences between project-based learning and a project. And if you stick around to the end, we'll give you one similarity between project-based learning and a project. The first key difference between project-based learning and a project is the launch of the project. A traditional project often has the project at the very end, meaning all the work has been happening, and then the most engaging work has been at the end. I know of one social studies teacher that had a fantastic project. It was I am declarations, and learners loved it. But to get to that point, they had to learn the different pieces of the Declaration of Independence, and they just tromped through it like they were sludging through mud. They loved the project, said, well, how come we didn't do this before? I didn't know this was going to be so cool. But this teacher had 4 weeks of kids slogging through mud to get to the engaging project. In project-based learning, we put the project launch or the entry event at the very beginning. So at the very beginning, learners know the real-world problem that they're going to be solving. If they're going to be helping parents who just found out their kid has a genetic disease learn about that genetic disease, they know right away that there's meaning to the work that they're learning. As they learn the Punnett Square, they know why they're learning it. They're helping someone in the community. They know that they're going to create a PSA or a pamphlet or a TV video that's going to go into a doctor's office. In fact, Mike from the Hemophilia Society has come to launch that PBL unit. So someone from outside of the school has come in to say this work's really important. So the first key difference is, when do we launch the project idea? In project-based learning, we do it right at the very beginning, so all of our learning has context. The second key difference between project-based learning and a project is community partners. A traditional project, often learners will be presenting back to their classmates and their teacher for a grade. This certainly lacks some authenticity. There was one school that was trying to do project-based learning well, but they found that they weren't really getting the engagement from their learners that they thought they should. Well, it turns out, after going down to help them out, looking at their project planning forms, all of their audiences were teacher and students. Teacher and students. They missed a key component of project-based learning. Community partners coming in to give authenticity and importance to the work is key. You want to have community partners in your audience. So in project-based learning, we bring community partners in so that they can be the ones that are giving feedback on those pamphlets for the doctor's office. There could be nurses in there that are saying, I really love what you did with this work. I'd never thought of that idea. Or, I really appreciate your professional dress. When a community partner comes in, it shows the importance of your work. So in project-based learning, we want to make sure community partners are involved in our PBL units, both at the beginning at a project launch and also in our presentations, so that as our learners are gaining new knowledge throughout the unit, they know it's going to be applied and they know it's going to be shared beyond the classroom. The third key difference between project-based learning and a project is we don't want any recipe projects. Sometimes we can get caught in a traditional project where our learners go through a series of steps, and at the end they solve the same fabricated problem and they come to the same conclusion that we wanted them to. In fact, if they don't come to the same conclusion, we know they did something wrong. The problem with that is really our learners are beginning to learn how to do a recipe. Sometimes this can happen in the science lab. Everything bubbles blue at the end, and if it bubbles orange, I know you did it wrong. But the critical thinking, the problem solving is not there like we really want it to be. In project-based learning, we expect the answers to be different at the end. We expect our presentations at the end to have critical thinking and problem solving that leads us to different answers and different possible solutions. Like one class that was redoing the work for a museum. The middle school curriculum wasn't engaging, so the middle school learners were presenting to the owners of this museum different ideas that they could use in middle school. There were many varied ideas, in fact, from role-playing to video games to creating art, and the museum was able to take several of those different ideas from different groups and apply them to their work. It was very successful. But we saw that it wasn't a recipe unit because there were so many different ideas that came out. So we knew that critical thinking, collaboration, and problem solving was certainly happening in that PBL unit. Those are the three key differences every educator should know between project-based learning and a project. Before we get to the one similarity between project-based learning and a project, make sure you like and subscribe if you liked this video. Those are the three key differences that every educator should know between project-based learning and a project. But I promised you one similarity. There's at least one similarity between project-based learning and a project. You will see that there are lectures, activities, quizzes, labs, unit tests, exams in a traditional project, and those same things can be in a project-based learning unit. We still need to make sure that our learners are mastering the content that we're putting forward, that they're engaging our standards well. So those things can still happen and should happen. We're not asking you to throw everything you've ever done out. You're doing great work. But if you want to move your traditional project into a project-based learning unit, you can work on those three key differences of launching your unit at the very beginning, bringing in community partners to bring authenticity to your work, and making sure you don't have a recipe project where everyone comes to the same conclusion. And if you start by bringing those three key differences into your work, you'll find that engagement goes up and you can get to more rigorous work. And you'll see that your learners go from passive to empowered.